welcome to the very first edition of the Ugly Mugs podcast. This is a multifaceted, multi-platform
A lot of things
show.
going on.
So first thing, I'm going to intro our show for our Anchor channel.
Sure.
All right,
Lay it
ready
on
to
me.
roll?
Lay it on me.
Hello, everyone. My name's the Smooth Bear, and I am one of the co-hosts of the brand new show, Ugly Mugs. What we do here is we get our team of interns to collect some of the ugliest mugs that they can find locally here on a budget, which I know
I can appreciate that.
you can appreciate that it's on a budget. Lots of return on investment with this. We're going to get those ugly mugs. We're going to reveal those ugly mugs on air. Me and you, we're going to drink from those ugly mugs and do a radio show because we both have great faces for radio.
Sure. Most importantly, and what I care most about, what is going to be in those mugs that we're drinking?
There's going to be many things. We're going to imply that it's water, but it's probably usually going to be whiskey or something.
So I'm Matt Vazquez. I'm the partner of this guy over here, the Smooth Bear. And we're a couple of digital marketing dudes. We're very passionate about what we do. And we're also very passionate about bourbon.
Yeah, we're passionate about so many things, and that's why I think this is a great opportunity.
Ironically, we have kids, and we never peppered them in.
Never once have we mentioned our passion for our children. All right, that was a great first Anchor. So I'm gonna get that going. What is your experience with Anchor while I'm typing this up?
My experience, so many thoughts running through my mind. None, absolutely zero. I have zero experience with Anchor other than just being on the outskirts, waiting for a great opportunity to jump in. We know a lot of people in common that are on Anchor. We've been talking about Anchor for, it seems like, a couple years, more so you than I have, but me personally, absolutely zero. So I'm super excited to jump in on this this platform and start engaging.
Okay, so the next part for our Anchor broadcast is going to be the mug reveal. This is something I'm really excited about. Our team of interns, I know that they scoured the selection of mugs available at the very, very affordable price point that we laid out for them.
We gave them an extremely large budget for these gently used mugs.
How much was the budget? Let's lay it out
I mean, it's all relative. Let me just start with budgets are all relative to what you're trying to acquire, right?
Sure.
So I think along the lines of 500 to 600 is what we gave them. 500-600 pesos.
Pesos
is about what we gave them to extravagantly get some gently used mugs.
500 to 600 Smooth Bear coins.
Yes,
which translates.
It equivalates to 0.000001 Bitcoin. That's exactly what we gave them to go out and acquire and procure these mugs.
All right, so we're gonna ask our off-camera personality, who shall remain nameless at this point. I've been calling her Robin Quivers in my mind. So let's bring the mugs in. As we bring the mugs in, we're gonna do an Anchor broadcast. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're gonna do the big mug reveal. What are our two ugly mugs here on the Ugly Mugs broadcast? What do they look like?
We're so excited.
Ooh, let's look at the camera so we can look at it together. So mine says bold, strong, and incredibly satisfying. I am so bold.
Yes.
I mean, people tell me
I can't wait
that all
to drink
the time.
out of your mug.
Yeah, he will. It's a power move.
Yeah.
It's so bold. Okay, let's see Matt's mug. Oh, that's terrifying.
That is, oh my gosh, this is Pennywise. This is Pennywise's great-grandfather, Papa Wise, and he is scary AF.
Yeah, that's pretty terrifying.
I can't wait to drink this in front of my children. I absolutely love this mug. I still am a big fan of Stephen King and the original It series. Read the book, read a lot of Stephen King stuff, but this is scary as AF. To me, I love this. It is creepy as shit.
I can't believe that they found this mug because this does really, I mean, this is like who I want to be. When we're talking about goals, that's 2018 Smooth Bear is bold, strong, and incredibly
I would
satisfying.
love to understand kind of like the thought pattern behind purchasing this.
Today we're just doing water and coffee because this guy gave up bourbon, I think last I heard. Isn't that something?
Yeah, I gave up bourbon till last night.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Okay, so let's do the beginning segment, and we're going to talk about Bitcoin. Okay, are you ready on Anchor?
Absolutely.
You don't have very long. Let's do a cheers. Here we go.
Cheers.
All right, so the first topics for our topic reveal. The first thing we're going to talk about, something I know you're super jazzed about. Give us like a quick 10 seconds on what do you know about Bitcoin?
Bitcoin is a decentralized cryptocurrency that is essentially untraceable, and it is challenging our existing financial system.
Well, I'm super confused by the whole thing. I really want to. I convinced my wife that I wanted to get into it, and then we tried to get into it, and it was really confusing. So I think this is a great topic for us to talk about. 'Cause
Sure.
I bet there's a lot of people like me who are very confused.
Indeed.
Okay, Matt, you have a couple of minutes. Tell us what's the scoop on Bitcoin, and tell me seriously, what is it? Like, what is a Bitcoin?
Okay, 2 minutes. It's going to be really tough, but I'm going to do my best.
Okay.
So right in the dip of the financial crisis in 2008, there was a lot of financial instability. And there was this dude out in Japan, something Satoshi, I can't remember his first name. I'm not a buff on this. He created this algorithm, this system of decentralizing basically an online currency that was nicknamed Bitcoin. So from there, Bitcoin, I believe, came out in 2009, right after 2008 financial crisis. And from there, it has grown and grown and grown. And a lot of people have grabbed onto this whole decentralized currency, getting outside of inflation and the government and the control and regulations. It's kind of like offshooted into these alternative cryptocurrencies that specialize in decentralizing payment processing, decentralizing even the creative industry, the music industry. So Bitcoin is the biggest one that everyone is familiar with, Bitcoin. But there are hundreds of alternative cryptocurrencies, and it's proof that the people want to be in control of their money, essentially, without the regulation of the government, and have it in such a way that it's practically anonymous, and that's exactly what it is. It's an anonymous, decentralized way of currency.
I'm gonna get that one going. How long have you been learning about Bitcoin?
I would probably say a couple years ago is when I started paying attention to Bitcoin. I had a couple buddies down south who really invested in it heavily, but I was not full bore as I am probably today, and even today, I'm not nearly as much as some of the people in my circle. They're talking about it all the time. I'm getting notifications from all these groups that I'm stuck in. I can't get out of. But I would say today I'm really big into ICOs, which is initial coin offerings, because those are new cryptocurrencies brought to the market with hopefully a really great purpose that serves the community. So I'm really more into the ICOs and the alternative coins. I'm not so much into Bitcoin anymore because a lot of people have been priced out.
Awesome. Okay, so for our question of the day today for Ugly Mugs, we are wondering what sort of the layman's position on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is, and I'm a perfect person to answer this, to kick off the answers, because I really don't know very much, and I'm sort of a wuss. I'm a little bit afraid to delve into new things. I'm not a big risk taker in that world. So my opinion is that it seems scary to me because it feels like it's unregulated. And the more I talk to people who are in it, they sort of describe to me that it's all kind of unregulated. So
it is absolutely the Wild West.
And so that's a little bit scary to me. It feels like potentially I could invest a lot of money and then just lose my shirt overnight.
Sure.
That's a little bit scary. And then also there's something about I don't know. I feel a little bit tied to the old style of money, which I know is probably like that's not a super positive thing. I'm in digital marketing, so I know what it's like when people like are stuck on the wrong side of history. Sure. But that is sort of my position nonetheless. Like, even though I know that, I feel afraid to give up on the US dollar, So
to distill all of that into, because we've got a couple seconds left.
Yeah.
It's, that it's something that is very provoking. You want to know more about it, but it is scary because there is just so much of the unknown that people who say even they understand it, they really don't understand it.
Yeah, yes, nailed it. All right, so that was our question of the day for Anchor, and we would definitely encourage anybody who gets on here and listens to this to go onto anchor.fm and find the Ugly Mugs broadcast here and leave a call-in question. So then the next thing I really want to talk about, believe it or not, is bourbon.
Of course.
Yeah, I want to talk
Cryptocurrency
about
and bourbon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cryptocurrency and bourbon. I wanted to pick something that I know is really important to you, really special.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna get into the meat of our bourbon discussion.
Do we need to bust out with some bourbon?
I mean, I feel like it feels like there's not enough bourbon in the shot right now. So I mean, if there's some available, readily available,
Hey, can I step out for a quick
please
second? Okay.
step out. While Matt's stepping out, I'm going to tell you that Matt and I first bonded over bourbon. That was our first hangout. We got together at a local establishment here, and we had a few bourbons, and we spent about 4 hours at that place eating wings and drinking bourbon and coming up with what you see here today. Oh, it slides on camera like a smooth criminal. I love it. What is this bourbon we're about to sample?
I don't know.
Something good.
Something in my office. No, this is Clyde Mays. This was given to me by a really good friend. This is some delicious bourbon. If you ever get a chance to see this in a store, definitely pick it up.
Bourbon. I believe you were pouring me a glass of bourbon. You were just about to say that. Why do you like bourbon especially? Before you answer, I want to tell you why I like bourbon especially. More than I like whiskey or vodka or literally any other form of alcoholic drink. I like bourbon because bourbon, one, it originated during Prohibition. So I like that the people who created bourbon initially were criminals and outlaws, and that feels very cool to me. I'm very punk rock. And then I also like that afterwards you kind of have to, bourbon's like, it doesn't taste that good, right? Like whiskey, they try to make it so smooth and they try to like infuse all these flavors and all this bowl in there.
Sure.
Bourbon, they're like, this is America. It's not supposed to taste good.
It is supposed to burn.
Man up.
It's supposed to remind you that you're a man in America and things are not supposed to be smooth. They're supposed to be hard.
It's true. And I love that. I think that's the American way, and that's why I like bourbon. Also, I think that drinking bourbon has been, I attribute drinking bourbon to a lot of my success because when I go to a party and I walk up to the bar and I'm like, I know I've told you this dozens of times. I say, I want a whiskey neat, whatever. I want a bourbon neat. That sounds so badass. I mean, that is some cowboy shit right there. You know, I mean, that's
Absolutely.
like, that is so awesome. And so I go up and order that, and then the guy next to me orders like a Michelob Ultra.
Especially when
Like,
it's
come on,
when
you
it's
know?
an open bar and you can get whatever you want, and you see someone order a
super
Michelob
manly,
Ultra,
Boy
and you're like,
Scout
I'm gonna get a double bourbon neat.
Yeah.
Eyes turn.
Eyes turn. Everybody looks at that guy. We're out of time for this segment. That was a really promising segment. I've always
good.
wanted to
That's
say
good.
that publicly about the being more manly, like at a networking event. When I drink bourbon, I really, it's a little bit superficial or whatever, but I think it's super true. People are like, damn, that guy's drinking straight bourbon. What a freaking boss.
Yeah, everyone looks at that guy and says, yeah, he collects checks and cracks some necks for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Both of those things.
At the same time.
Right. And then finally, the last thing I wanted to talk about was goal setting.
Goal setting, absolutely.
Yeah, we've been drinking bourbon together for a while. We've also been setting goals for a while.
We sure have.
So I know that this is something that's really passionate about you, and I thought this would be a good sort of segment for a January Ugly Mugs episode.
Sure.
To talk about goals, and goals are very important. Everybody at this table definitely agrees that goals are very important, but people treat their goals differently. So I definitely want to talk about that. Let's bring up Anchor and let's get it going.
Sure.
Okay, so Matt, how do you set a goal?
Well, in order to add context to that, I think it's important to kind of understand that most people don't set goals, and I kind of fell within that category for the longest time in my life. Even like mental goals, that did not really count. For me, what a goal is taking an idea, kind of a destination that you want to be at in a certain time, and actually writing those things down, whether that be writing it down digitally, writing it down on a piece of paper, or putting it somewhere. You've got to get it out of your head and onto something tangible, and then start working backwards. What am I going to do to accomplish that goal? If I need to lose weight, well, how do I compartmentalize that and say this is what I need to lose every week or every month? Of course, that goal does not apply to me. That is a totally far-fetched example.
Yeah.
But everything from professionally to personally to financially to spiritually, kind of working backwards where you want to see yourself in life and where you want to see yourself in a year. A lot of people kind of poo-poo on the whole, it's a new year, it's a new me thing. But there's a lot of energy in a new year, and that's why it's a great time to just go ahead and jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to feel that energy in June or July, and some people try to wait. But for me, it's easier to jump right in the river when it's already flowing pretty strong. So I typically make my goals at the beginning of the year, that first week. I sit down and I start writing everything that I want to accomplish, and I start working backwards. I'm horrible at 3-year and 5-year goals, but I'm really good at 1-year goals for the past couple years.
So while I'm uploading Matt's goals, I think that one thing that you mentioned, I think that's super important is like the other types of goals. So people, weight loss is of course on everybody's mind.
Sure,
come the new year.
that's health, yeah.
And that's really easily like observed. Like how well did I do? How well did I do? Like, what's my goal of like weight loss, and then you can easily track how much weight loss.
Sure.
But I think that something that's pretty interesting that I plan on talking about in a second is like the relational and personal goals, because I think like mental health goals and things like that I think are also really important, and they're a little bit difficult to quantify.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for me, I think goals. I also agree that goals are very important. It is super important to write them down. We at my house we have a whiteboard of our goals that we have had actually for the last couple of years. That we write down something in personal development, which is a little bit less attainable or less quantifiable, but I think it is still very attainable. And I think that it's important to every year become like what you think is a better person, and try to grow as a human being, and figure out how to develop the muscle of empathy and altruism and stuff like that.
Sure.
So I think that you should be realistic with your goals. I think that's really important. People everyone's good at setting 5-year goals, not meeting 5-year goals, but setting them.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to say in 5 years I'm going to be this, but it's so much more difficult to set like a short-term goal of 6 months, of a year, and then the working backwards, and how do I actually get to that 5-year goal?
Right.
Because nobody's good at getting to the 5-year goal. You have to get to that's why you set the smaller goals, so that you can get to 6 months, so that you can get to a year, so you can get to 2 years, so you can get
Life
to
gets
4.
in the way of 3 to 5 years.
Definitely.
I mean, you don't know where you're going to be in 6 months.
Right.
We plan, we hope, we pray, right? All of these things happen. A year is a great stretch to plan, but anything past like 3 to 5 years, like you just don't know.
You can't
knock it off with your 5-year goals.
Yeah.
It's more like a 5-year anticipations.
Knock it off with your 5-year goals, Grandpa Matt. Grandpa Matt talking about it, knocking it off. Get off my lawn. So we're wrapping it up. How has your mug served you so far?
It's great.
You've had both coffee and bourbon out of it. Does it has it changed your experience with the mug? Is it still
I think
terrifying?
if I have a few more, I'm definitely gonna be looking and feeling like this guy right here.
Oh, that's so scary. So scary.
And I think if you have a couple more, you are definitely going to be bold and strong and incredibly satisfying.
I don't need bourbon to be bold and it's satisfying, man. I'll tell you that. Okay, so we're gonna do our outro here. And that's going to be our outro for the show. So, is there anything you want to say to our SoundCloud audience? You appreciate them listening. I really appreciate them listening.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is.
I can't believe you made it this far. Like, what are you doing? Go find something better to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. We really appreciate it. This is a show that we're going to be doing how often?
We're going to be doing this once a week.
Once a week. So we're super excited to be doing this. We're super excited that you're even listening to this. We really appreciate your time and your attention, and we hope this adds value. We definitely want to engage with you. So reach out to us, comment. We want to talk about the things that you're interested in. Of course, we're going to talk about the things that we're interested in, and we can definitely meet in the middle, and we can create a great community together.
Definitely check us out on Anchor. That will help you participate in the show, because next time we'd love to have some call-ins so we could play here on air and get some audience feedback. So let's close the show.
Yeah.
Make sure we tell people who the heck we are in this close. Okay, let's not forget. Don't let me forget.
Sure.
All right, ready? All right, everybody, that concludes our first Ugly Mugs Anchor broadcast. It was really, really exciting. I love being on emerging platforms like this and participating and having some good old times. And also, I love that we pulled out a little bit of bourbon just for
yeah, that came out of nowhere.
I didn't think it was going to happen.
It's a great third addition to the show.
So, who are you? What's going on?
Matthew Vazquez, partnering with this guy over here, the Smooth Bear. We love talking about digital marketing, new and emerging trends that are happening in the world, talking about life, all things digital and life related, and bourbon, of course.
Indeed. We like talking about stuff IRL and on the internet. That's in real life.
Love it.
For you folks who
Love
don't
it.
know. Thank you for tuning in. Boom. We did it. That was good.
Cheers.
Good job. Cheers. Mine's gone already.
I am just sipping on some nice Florida air.